Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to dive into an important update that could impact your travel plans in the United States starting May 7th, 2025. New identification requirements will be enforced for domestic flights and access to certain federal facilities. Let's break down what this means for you. So what is the Real ID? Now, the Real ID is a federally compliant form of identification that meets enhanced security standards set by the Real ID Act of 2005. It's part of the Patriot Act. Now, this act was established to improve the reliability and accuracy of state-issued identification documents. A Real ID compliant license or ID card will have a star in the upper right corner. So what's happening on May 7th, 2025? Well, beginning May 7th, every air traveler 18 years of age or older will need a Real ID compliant driver's license, state-issued identification card, or another acceptable form of ID to board a commercial aircraft. Now, how do you know if you have a Real ID? It's very simple. All you have to do is check your driver's license or state ID. If it has a star in the upper right corner, it's a Real ID compliant form. If not, you'll need to obtain a compliant ID or use alternative acceptable forms of identification such as a valid U.S. passport. So how did you get a Real ID? It's really simple. To obtain a Real ID, you'll need to visit your state's Department of Motor Vehicles in person and provide proof of identity such as a birth certificate or passport, proof of social security number such as your social security card or W-2, and 2 proofs of residency such as a utility bill or a lease agreement. Now, requirements may vary by state, so it's best to check your local DMV's website for specific details. Well, what about minors? Children under 18 are not required to have a Real ID to fly domestically when traveling with an adult companion who has an acceptable form of identification. So there are alternatives to the Real ID. If you don't have a Real ID, you can still use other forms of federally accepted identification for domestic flights, such as a valid United States passport or passport card, Department of Homeland Security Trusted Travelers Card, such as Global Entry, Nexus, or Sentry, a valid U.S. military ID. For a full list of acceptable IDs, visit the TSA's official website. So what happens if you don't comply? Well, this isn't legal advice, but starting May 7, 2025, travelers without a Real ID or acceptable alternative identification may be denied boarding on domestic flights and could face delays at TSA checkpoints. So here are some final things to think about. To ensure smooth travel experiences, check your ID now and make plans to obtain a Real ID if necessary. Visit your state's DMV website for more information on how to apply for a Real ID. For more details about the Real ID, visit the Department of Homeland Security's official Real ID page at www.dhs.gov/real-id. So stay informed and safe travels.